that are interested, you can always call in to the studio here. Our number is 813-254-7820 if you've got a question for John Reaves or myself, or if you have a comment about local sports. Or you can email us at sportssoundoff@aol.com. Now, I know some of us are technically challenged. I've got a web team from Team Alita that helps me out, but you know, some of you may have some issues technically, but that's sportssoundoff@aol.com. Let's go to our scoreboard. First of all, football's back.
Yes.
And John, you know, we've been happy about that. First question, do you think the Saints can repeat?
I think they can, although they're missing Sharper is out, they had so many turnovers last year. They can, but it's going to be tough. And I think there's probably maybe 8 teams that have a chance, and they're one of them, the Colts, the Patriots, the Chargers.
Now, I'm a Charger guy.
Ravens.
I've been waiting to see Phillip Rivers do something, and I know that he's lost LaDainian, but you know, I think of the guy that I want running a team for me is him. Although Drew Brees, you know, both those guys are of that class where they're right there.
I'd like to see Minnesota do it. I'd like to see Favre do it, you know, and they'll be in the mix. But, you know, they've got injuries. Sidney Rice is hurt.
Yep.
You look at Dallas. I haven't been impressed with their offensive line this preseason at all, and everybody keeps raving about how great a talent they have, and I just don't see it. Although they're very good, and I like Romo. I think he's terrific.
You think he's overrated, or you think he's?
No, I think he's one of the best in the league, one of the top 10 at least, maybe even better than that.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm hoping for you too. I'm hoping for you too. More football question. Here's the real question. The Bucs are rebuilding.
Yeah.
How many wins do you think we get this year?
Well, you know, it depends. Freeman hurting his thumb didn't help, because now you're going to see that I think they might have a slow start. They've got lost their corner for the first game to leave, and that's going to hurt. It's a big game, that opener, Cleveland, but who's a team much like the Bucs, but they won their last 4 last year. They might struggle early, and I think they'll get better in the midseason and go on. And depending on Josh's thumb, and I would love to see them win 6 or 7 games this year.
Well, I'd love to see that too. I get the feeling that we're talking 3 or 4, but you know, I think people will accept 3 or 4 and understand it's a rebuilding year. Josh Freeman's a great talent. He seems to be a great kid. He's got the build. He's got the pedigree, all those types of things. But you said it earlier. You know, quarterbacks, they don't take quite as long as they used to. It's not a 5 or 6 year process, but it's still a 3 or 4 year process to get a guy ready to play.
Right. He's got all the young receivers too, you know, except for Winslow at tight end.
Right.
Be nice if they could establish a real strong running attack, but from watching them in preseason, I don't know that they've established anything yet.
No.
So it's going to take them a few games, I think.
No. Well, we'll see. Let's switch sports a little bit here. I hate to mention this word in Tampa right now, but A-Rod and the Yankees just went up a game on the Rays. A-Rod, of course, being the youngest to reach 600 home runs. I am distressed by the idea that, like I said, you got 10,000 people in the stands at Tropicana Field going to a game when the Rays have the second best record in baseball. Do you think that you think Tampa's gonna actually come through and actually show up in the stands for the Rays, or are we just gonna not be a baseball fan?
No, I think we got a decent fan base here. They're going to pull 2 million or so this year. The Yanks will be in, I guess, next weekend or so, and they'll probably be sold out for those 3 games. Economy's tough around here right now, you know, and for people to show up on Monday, Tuesday night, it's tough, you know. It costs a lot of money to go to a game, and but you know, I think the Rays got a great team. I've met Joe Madden; he's really a nice guy, and their ownership. And they're nice people.
They're young guys that want to do well.
They got a good team. They might win it all this year.
You know, they have all this talent. I think my concern is if they don't win it this year, where's Crawford going to go? Where's Upton going to go? Where's Longoria going to go? They're going to say, tell you what, we can't win a ring here. Let's go someplace we can win a ring. Let's go someplace where I can actually play in front of people and know that they're going to be there. I was there for the Cliff Lee David Price last week, and I could not believe there are 11,000 people in the stands for 2 guys that potentially could win Cy Young Award.
Yeah.
You know, and
that gets down, you look up in the stands, see all those empty seats, But they'll have some good crowds. Crawford, I think the Rays would love to keep him. It's just a matter of economics. He's a guy that's going to pull $25 million a year probably after this year, and if the Rays can afford it or not.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I just hope they can win the East. That's my question: is can they win the East? So hopefully we'll get a chance to see them do that. These guys are they're playing good baseball, and I'm happy for them. Now I got to ask you this as a Gator.
All right.
How do you think we're going to do this year?
Well, I think we're going to do good. I think we got good talent. It's going to probably take us a while to get in the groove, but we'll probably lose a game or two. I hope that to happen at all, but Alabama having their running back get hurt the other day.
Yeah, but of course they're saying day to day.
Yeah.
If anybody's got a question for John, we only got a few minutes left on the show, so it's 813-254-7820. I agree with Ingram out. He hurt his knee. They say he's going to have surgery. He'll be back week to week. They probably don't need him to win the first couple games.
Well, I think they have to replace 9 starters on defense.
Right.
I'm sure they got a lot of good talent, but it still takes some time for those people to gel. And Florida's got them fairly early. Florida may be a little bit more experienced than them. And I look for Jeff Demps to have a breakout season.
Really? That's great to hear. I mean, for me, one of those things, I'm looking forward to Brantley dropping back in that pocket. He looks like a real pocket passer, and I'm a real fan of that. I mean, nothing against Tim. I love Tim Tebow as a leader and as a guy who will try to run you over if at all possible. But I love pocket passing. And when I see a guy that I know is going to drop back and throw the ball deep, I get excited about that. So, it's going to be exciting stuff.
They'll probably run an offense more like when Chris Leak was there.
Yeah, and that for me is the kind of thing I like to see is when we start talking about, well, looks like we got a call. Let's see what's on line 4. Caller, go ahead. Welcome to Sports Sound Off.
Well, hi, Randy and John. I've got a question for John. My wife and I went to a preseason game and saw Kareem Huggins play, and I'm always intrigued by young players. He looked really, really good. I know it's preseason. John, is he the real deal?
He looks very good, and good enough that they waived Derek Ward. I think he proved himself in the league that he's a good, tough runner. I like him. I think he's a good talent, and he's probably going to have to play a lot. You can't just have one running back, Cadillac Williams. So he'll probably be in there a lot, and I like his story, how he's persevered, and he looks like a good player. I like him.
Hey, cool. Thanks for your call. And if you have any follow-up questions for either myself or for John, you can email us at sportsoundoff@aol.com. Thanks again for everyone who's been with us today. John, thanks for being with us. Thanks
for
Randy. The caller, and thanks for our guests here on TBCN. I want to also thank our sponsor, Team Alita, for your support and your time with us. Sports Sound Off is sponsored in part by Team Alita. We want to thank them. If you want to continue to be with us, see us next Wednesday live at 8 o'clock. Until then, we'll see you in the stands, and thanks again.